Hey guys, I hope you had a good weekend. Today I want to talk a little bit about research questions. Some of you got to this on Friday, but some of you didn't quite get there, so I figured we could do that today and get the ball rolling on our research a little bit. You picked a topic on Friday. If you haven't picked your topic yet, make sure you do that ASAP. That way you know where you're going. You can't really do any of this without a topic, so make sure you've got that. So if you look at my screen right now, or you look at the video right now, you can see some information about writing a research question. You want your research question to be clear. You want it to be focused. You want it to be something that people can talk about. So you don't want it to just be kind of like a yes-no question. You want it to be something that's going to have interest to both you and a potential audience. You want it to lead to factual information and multiple possible answers. You don't want to ask a question that has one obvious answer, because that's not going to get you a very interesting paper. That's not going to get you a very interesting option there. You're not going to have a lot to do if you just get one answer. So while we are looking at that, some examples are down there. Things like what can be done to end homelessness in the United States is going to be a lot more interesting to research than something like, is homelessness bad? A, nobody's going to say homelessness is good, and B, that's not a very interesting question to discuss. So we want to make sure that we're kind of opening it up to some good research. You want some hows and some whats, maybe some whys. You don't want just like an is that's going to get you a yes or no answer. So I'm going to write some for my topic. So I chose the topic of like the internet's effect on people. So I'm going to try to think of some good questions that I might ask if I'm thinking about the internet and how it's affected people. This is a really broad topic. There are lots of different opinions here, and I'm super interested in this topic, so I'm excited to kind of explore it. I'm actually not sure what side I fall on yet, or kind of what I think the answer is, so I'm interested to learn a little bit more. One thing that's super important when you're researching is not to limit yourself to only learning about one side of an argument, because that will leave you very ill-equipped to actually make a good argument. If you only know your own side, you have no idea what other people are going to say. You have no idea if you even really believe in yours, if there's new evidence and information that you didn't know. That can leave you really vulnerable. So you want to make sure that you've really done your research on both sides and with lots of different information, that you really know what you're talking about before you start arguing. So some research questions I might ask. I might say like, what is the effect of the internet on people's ability to learn? So I've heard a lot of people talk about this idea of like the internet affecting our ability to learn, both positively and negatively. So I'm kind of interested in what I'll find if I start looking for that. I'm also interested in like a social aspect. So like, what is the effect of the internet on people's relationships? And I'm trying to think. So those are like my big two. When you're writing research questions, you might end up with, more than one. It's often the case that you want to research a couple different aspects of something. You want to make sure they go together, though. As I start researching, I might realize that I really just need to focus on people's ability to learn, that maybe this is too big of a topic, but I want to kind of leave myself with some options for now to see where I might want to go. I might want to do, what is the effect of people's the internet and people's relationships. I might want to know a little bit about the history of the internet. So sometimes you'll notice that you do want some smaller, like, sub-research questions that are kind of factual to, like, flesh out your ideas. So, like, if you were studying mental health, you might want to know, like, how many teenagers deal with depression. Like, you might want a number, or you might want to know, like, how those rates have changed over time, or something like that. So you might want some factual stuff. So if you think of something like that you want to know, you can put that in your research questions. You just want to make sure you have some of those big overarching ones so that you're not limiting yourself to just a couple specific facts. So, you know, I might want to know, like, how the world has changed. How has the internet changed the human world? That's a really big question, so that's going to be a lot. And I'm going to stick with those 3 for now. There are definitely more that I could ask, but for now I'm going to start here and kind of start looking for some sources. So after I've got these research questions, then I can go into Google and I can use these research questions in order to do some good searching and some good Googling. This is going to get me a lot more interesting results if I type these kind of things into Google than if I type things like, is the internet bad?